Do you remember the age-old advice that our parents gave us? Buy a house ASAP. They made it sound like a golden ticket to adulting success. But hold on, it's 2023 and things have changed. Big time. We are here to explore and unravel the truth if this well-meaning parental advice is still relevant in this roller coaster ride which we call today's real estate market. Buckle up. We are about to challenge some old school wisdom. You see, real estate has been on a wild journey lately. Prices have skyrocketed faster than a balloon escaping a birthday party. And if you thought finding a unicorn is hard, try finding an affordable house in today's market. It's frankly like searching in a needle in a haystack. So that's the $1 million question, my friends. Is the buy a house ASAP advice still relevant in 2023? Or we are better off with a slightly unconventional approach? What is undisputable though is that you should hit the like button on this video ASAP. And one advice that you should definitely listen to is to subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Let's face it, adulting is tough and homeownership comes with its own fair share of challenges. In many ways, it's like playing the game of Monopoly, but there is no get out of jail free card. So is it time to reconsider the game plan? We'll explore that in this video, and if you stay till the end, I'll give you a 6-step checklist that you can use if you still want to become a homeowner. Let's get started. The real estate market has experienced significant changes in recent times, and 2023 is shaping up to be a transitional year. Following a seller favoring boom fueled by the pandemic and characterized by soaring prices, bidding wars, now the market has started to cool down. Factors such as inflation and rising interest rate have really dampened buyer interest, and which has led to general slowdown in sales as well as price appreciation. While sellers may still maintain an edge in certain markets due to scarcity of houses, experts are predicting a more balanced market, which may start to favor the buyer. It is important to note that while no dramatic reduction in housing prices is expected, the frenzied pace of price rise has really stopped. Now, as the market evolves, it's important to understand the ins and outs of home buying so as to make a very informed choice for your family as well as your finances. Contrary to the notion that falling prices may indicate a good time to buy, experts are predicting that the prices may further go down. Several factors contribute to this forecast. First, high mortgage interest rate driven by inflation really discourage potential home buyers, even if attractive homes are available. Second, inflation has caused rise in prices of everything, which has strained household budgets, further discouraging the potential buyers. Lastly, the effect of COVID-19, which is kind of largely over, as well as the war in Ukraine, has meant that the economy is suffering at the same time when subsidies which were in place during COVID-19 have largely been withdrawn. Considering these circumstances, prospective homeowners face the dilemma whether they should wait till 2024 or buy now. The pandemic-induced demand led to surge in home prices, and the Federal Reserve's efforts to control inflation through successive rate hikes has led to a very high environment of mortgage rates. So many individuals are leaning towards the wait side now. In fact, according to Fannie Mae's Home Purchase Sentiment Index, published just last week on July 7th, just 22% of prospective home buyers think that this is the right time to buy a house. The resurgence of hotels also is going to have significant impact on the housing market. In the wake of pandemic and the subsequent social distancing norms of the past 2 years, Airbnb saw a huge surge in demand from vacationers. This led to its dominating the short-term rental market, and that investment options gave very handsome results to the investors. So many investors decided to invest in short-term rentals. However, that landscape is shifting one more time. Now hotels have started reclaiming their position as the first choice of travelers and vacationers. Frankly, last time when we used Airbnb for our travel, I really found it as a hassle to meet every demand of the homeowner. The house should be clean, the sheets should be washed, it should be vacuumed, the dishes should be done. I am not required to do any of these when I stay in a nice hotel. In fact, a fellow YouTuber, Shelby Church, has documented her own journey with her Airbnb investment. She says that she experienced zero cash flow, in fact negative cash flow, all of last year, and she is now considering selling that property. That experience is not unique. Considering these developments, fewer individuals are likely to consider purchasing investment properties, particularly for short-term rentals. Instead, they may want to explore alternate investing options which are now getting popular in the market. More about those soon. Let's face it, Millennials and Zenzi, we are a breed of our own. We are all about experiences, flexibilities, while trying to break free from the chains of student loans. But how do these priorities shape our decisions when it comes to buying a home? See, most millennials and Gen Zs are about creating memories, exploring the world, and living the life to the fullest. But here's the thing, chasing these experiences come with a price tag, and that price tag often competes with the down payment for a house. Then there is the elephant in the room, the student loan monster always lurking in the background. It's like that clingy ex who will just not leave you alone. Paying off those loans has become a priority for many of us. But guess what? It leaves little room for saving that hefty down payment required for the house. The path to homeownership poses significant challenges for individuals in Gen Z. Consequently, many members of Gen Z are really feeling disheartened over a prospect of owning a home. In a recent survey conducted by Freddie Mac, about 34% of Gen Zers expressed serious concern about ever being able to afford a home. This is up from 27% in 2019. Their obstacles include savings for a down payment, lack of a good credit history, and general job instability. The housing shortage and subsequent increase in home prices have created a much wider gap between those who have already purchased homes and built up significant equity in their homes versus those who are still trying to buy their first property. This gap is likely to increase further because developers are not building a lot of new inventory, and policy makers also, frankly, are not taking any steps. The National Association of Realtors says that Gen Z, much like the millennials, are very likely to rely on family and friends for financial support when buying their first property. This trend further compounds the disparities between the prospective buyers, further dividing the haves and have-nots. But don't lose hope. There is a whole world of creative housing solutions that might just be the key to unlocking your dream of calling a place home. Let's explore. Say hello to the rising stars of the housing scene. Co-living spaces, micro-apartments, and remote work-friendly heavens. These alternatives are gaining popularity faster than you can say home sweet home. Now let's weigh the benefits and drawbacks of these alternative housing options. On one hand, we have potential cost savings. Co-living spaces and micro-apartments often come with lower price tag, leaving us with extra cash for our experiences. And don't forget about the community aspect. These alternatives foster a sense of connection and belonging. You're not just renting a space. You're becoming part of a social fabric, surrounded by individuals who share same values and similar passions. But let's not overlook the lifestyle considerations. Living in co-living spaces means compromising on privacy, and smaller spaces call for minimalism and lot of efficient organization. And while remote work locations may offer amazing scenery, a more relaxed space, but they often lack the connections and facilities which are present in an urban center. As with any housing option, it's crucial to evaluate your personal preferences, lifestyle, and financial situation. These alternatives can be exciting and liberating, but they may not be a good fit for everyone. It's all about finding the option that resonates with your values and aligns with your goals. Renting versus owning. This is something that weighs heavily on minds of a lot of people, particularly in the current economic landscape. Let's look at the pros and cons of these two different paths to finding a shelter. On one hand, we have renting. Freedom, flexibility, and liberation from the hassles of owning and maintaining a home. On the other side, we have home ownership, stability, equity building, and a place to call your own. Let's also explore the long-term financial benefit. Home ownership can provide stability and a sense of security. As you slowly pay off your mortgage, your equity on the house builds, and through property appreciation, you can accumulate more wealth. On the other hand, renting, apart from giving flexibility, also frees you up from the hassles of property taxes, home insurances, and unpredictability of real estate market. You have an option to invest your money elsewhere. You can diversify your portfolio, have a lot of flexibility, and potentially generate higher return. Looking at these pros and cons, one thing is clear. There is no one-size-fits-all answer. The decision between renting and home ownership depends on your personal financial situation, long-term goals, and frankly preference. Rocco Pendola wrote a very interesting article Stop telling me to buy a house. In that article, he shares his experience of paying $1,343 per month for a house in Los Angeles, where average home prices exceeded $1 million. If he were to buy that property, to afford even 10% down payment on that $1 million property, he'll need to bring in at least $100,000 in cash. And a mortgage of $900,000 at a very juicy 3.2% interest rates, yes, those were available at that time, would mean a monthly payment of nearly $4,000. That amount was nearly $2,500 more than what he was paying as his monthly rent. In the article, Pendola highlights an alternative scenario. If instead of buying the house, he would have continued renting and taken that $2,500 extra that he is now saving every month and invested that in a diversified stock market portfolio and assume a very conservative 7% rate of return, then in just 20 years, he would have accumulated about $1.7 million. In such a scenario, he argues that he did not miss out on any significant opportunity by not owning a house. One of the key reasons behind parents advising us to buy houses is their investment potential. While that was largely true for their generation, nowadays there's plethora of alternate investments options available. Stocks, cryptocurrencies, and so many other assets can provide much more liquidity. That means you can buy and sell them much more easily than real estate. They offer flexibility and the ability to respond quicker to market changes. But of course, with greater potential returns and flexibility comes greater risk. These alternative investment options can be volatile, they are subject to market fluctuations, and may require much deeper understanding of the underlying risk. If you choose these alternate options over real estate, it's very important to do your research, seek professional advice, and always diversify your investment portfolio. Now, if you are determined to make that leap into home ownership in 2023, fear not. Here are 6 essential steps that you can take to prepare for being a homeowner. Evaluate and pay off all debts that you have. Review your credit score and make sure any errors there are corrected. Carefully assess your current budget and see how much you can afford as a homeowner. Make sure to account for things like maintenance and unexpected expenses. Next, determine the amount that you have either available or can reasonably save quickly for down payment for the new house. If any of it is coming as gifts, you may have to provide documentary evidence. It may be a good idea to talk to lenders and get some pre-approvals done so that you really know what is the range of prices for the properties that you can look at. Next, look at your local market and try to define your preferences and your family's preferences for the type of home you'd want to buy within your budget. Then start your search. While you search, keep an eye on mortgage interest rates and changes that are happening over there, because that can have a material impact on your ability to afford the right loan and buy the home of your dreams. There you go. If you can follow these basic steps, you will be prepared to buy a home in 2023. Buying a house is a decision that should not be taken lightly. It's a complex and costly process with potential financial risk. Before you make a move, carefully analyze market conditions, historical data, and information about the specific property. Remember, the fear of missing out should not drive your investment decisions. In my own personal experience across various markets, I have found that property prices will always fluctuate, regardless of the market, regardless of the year. To wrap it up, do your research and make an informed decision when it comes to buying a house. Take your time and prioritize your financial well-being. Sometimes, well-meaning advice as well as conventional wisdom may not be in your best financial interest. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and please share with somebody who can use this information. If you have any questions or experiences to share, please do leave a comment below. Until next time, stay informed.